sometimes even a king needs a wise counsel to move beyond torrid times. A story now from our newsroom that begs lawful and responsible intervention. Housing for the poor happens to be one of those hot-button topics for all politicians in Jamaica, be it at the local or at the national level. Unfortunately, so many people just seem to be falling through the cracks. Take, for example, 81-year-old Kenneth King, who lives in Comfort Castle, East Portland. Here he is in February 2024, sitting outside the house he occupied for years in a little section of the farming community. His countenance adds presence to the dilapidated structure, which grabs the attention of the consultant pediatric cardiothoracic surgeon at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, Dr. Sherrod Little.
I was actually doing a hike with the Natural History Society of Jamaica about 7 months ago, and our hike took us past his house, and when I saw the house from a distance, I noticed the house was crooked. So all the lumbers in front were all slanted, and it looked like the house was about to fall down. And he was sitting on the front porch. So I stopped my hike, walked over to him, introduced myself. I couldn't just pass and not do something. It would imminently fall down, and I didn't want him to be a news story to hear house collapse on this gentleman.
Or it could end up being a patient.
Fast forward to now, post the perils of Hurricane Beryl and all attempts to get help from all the noted options.
What was the last word from Food for the Poor?
Wow, I've reached out to them several times, and what they have said basically is that they have a lot of applications and they haven't reached his yet. And even when I told them his house has been blown down, this was the same answer.
The senior king, who in his heydays was a carpenter and a mason, has, let's call it, a different house, as it's not a new one. The floor is masked by worn-out mats and planks of old loose wood, cushioned by gravel.
How amazing, though. Look at his tradesmanship.
I think that's the resilience of us as Jamaicans, to be honest. He used a material from the old house which was falling down to make something smaller but a little more sturdy right now. It is far from ideal, but he's not going to sit out in the open and not do anything. So he used his skills to build what he can. And I think if he gets a little help, even if it's the material to build his house, I'm sure that he can come up with the labor and put something more permanent in place that will withstand the elements.
Imagine this. Not only did Mr. King rehash his safe haven with the help of 2 others, but even in his state of poverty, he extended his place of abode to accommodate an old friend, 82-year-old Wesley Clark, who had no roof over his head. Stay with us for the business segment after this.